like a boss.
Huh?
Live from the USA, helping you get paid every day. This is the boss of Bitcoin, the Cristo of crypto, your boy BK. And if you don't like me, you must not like money. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Wanted to do a ICO spotlight from one of the submissions that I've received recently called Streamity. I also like to make these more of a educational discussion as opposed to just, you know, some rambling about a ICO opportunity. So a few things we'll be discussing in the upcoming time together. How you can benefit from this opportunity. What does this opportunity look like for the economy? How does their business fit into the blockchain? And ultimately, how is the blockchain revolutionizing business, right? If you know me, you know I like money, but before I like money, I like to know how that money is going to get made. So without further ado, let's jump into Streamity and see how they're connecting all the pieces for this opportunity for you, right? What they talk about is a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange. Recently, we've had a lot of discussion with regards to this whole process. A couple years ago, the only thing that existed was Bitcoin, so it was very easy, you know, relatively easy to go from USD into BTC. But now that we have over 1,500 different cryptocurrencies, you know, things are becoming more complicated. You have the ERC20 network, you have, you know, different backings that are being built out. Waves is being built out. Neo is being built out. All these different rails essentially are networks of money and networks of code and infrastructure, right? So Streamity is looking to create a decentralized exchange that allows the mainstream adoption and conversion of fiat money to whatever token you may want on the back end through their native token of STM, right? They also have a few supplementary business models and, you know, platforms built onto their main offering, but I will get to those in a little bit. You know, and in doing a lot of this research, first things I like to do is really look to see what's out there, you know, in internet land, you know, what regular people say about it, and also the information that was available. I came across this thing. It was pretty cool. This was actually a contest that they did, just trying to generate some promo and, you know, some marketing material for them. But what's interesting is if we scroll down a little bit, they actually introduced some of their primary platforms and benefits, right? We call these props, value proposition. What is your play? What's your val prop? What are you doing that nobody else does? And what do you do? How do you do it better than anyone else, right? And so they get into the platform, they get into all the different resources available. And one thing I noticed on this specifically was if we click on this white paper link, you know, this kind of summarizes it. And this is actually a very valuable tool, I think, if you're ever, you know, considering if you want to get involved in an ICO, you should definitely look at the white paper, and you should also look up the one pager. And that's actually what I wanted to click on. I don't want to take you through all 43 pages because, you know, we'd be here a lot longer than I intend to be here. And ultimately, I don't think that's very valuable for anybody. So let's go back to Steam it and let's click on the one pager. There we go. One pager. So basically that 43 pages is summarized into one page. Boom, boom, boom. Get straight to the money, straight to the point. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And what we see here, fastest growing opportunity in the world, cryptocurrency. Welcome to the money team. A rising tide floats all boats, and the money that will be coming over will benefit you as long as you have equity claimed on the other side of that bridge. But again, a lot, because this stuff is so new, you guys, a lot of these opportunities are not built out. You know, they're not very easy to use. You know, for example, for me to explain the blockchain to somebody and how ERC20 native token is different from a basic, you know, the basic Bitcoin code, you know, that's somewhat of a more complicated discussion. So, you know, what do customers want? They want it simple, they want it easy, and they want it now. And that's what they're looking to do, right? In addition to that, they do have educational content. I think that's very, very valuable. Again, this whole discussion will be more educational than it is financial, because I think an informed customer is an empowered customer. And even though you guys aren't paying me, you know, just by paying attention to me, you're transferring your value. So in turn, I like to transfer as much value as I can back to you in the form of educational awareness and financial empowerment, right? And then last thing, let's see, Stream Desk, right? We will be looking into that in a minute, but essentially it's a peer-to-peer platform, smart contract, crypto exchange, fully automatic, minimal commissions. Basically the way Wall Street should operate is the way they're planning to operate. And it's smart, right? Autonomous smart contracts, peer-to-peer, decentralized, all those good value words we want to hear. How does it come together? How does it help you? How is it changing the world? This is what it looks like. In business school, they make everything very, very simple. in these little figures. This is how the entire world of macroeconomics and currency exchange works, in 3 or 4 little lines, just like that, right? This is the theoretical juxtaposition of US dollar conversion to Chinese yuan, which are 2 of the biggest exchanges in the world. Dollar to yuan, yuan to dollar. You can see that although it looks very simple, I won't even take the time to explain, you know, what this means, because that's a whole nother 2 hours in itself. Just to get to these 2 intersections right here takes essentially like, you know, a second lecture from a guest speaker from Harvard in macroeconomics and a PhD in economy, and it is very, very, very convoluted, very complicated. I think we understand that it's not this simple because there are multiple factors that affect how much a currency is worth, right? First of all, you have inflation, you have interest rate, right? How expensive is money, right? For example, if you had a credit card that had $1,000, you know, limit, but the interest rate was 30%, you know, you max that thing out and all of a sudden you're paying $300 a month on $1,000 credit card. That's a lot of money. Interest rate is a huge factor and variable for money and conversion and you know, the facilitation of transfer, right? Public debts, won't get into that one. But again, it's a lot that can be discussed. Political stability, right? Is your country oh boy, is your country you know, playing by the rules of those that want it to be played, right? Terms of trade and account deficit, debts, right? A lot of these are the same games played by the same people to control the same pot of money that they've controlled for a long time. And that pot of money does not include regular people making much of it. So on the blockchain, we look for opportunities that create a peer-to-peer service, meaning we don't have to go through a centralized authority that operates under all those different extraneous circumstances that have absolutely nothing to do with the people, nothing to do with the value. And as a result, you end up getting a graph a lot of times that looks just like this, where everything is changing all the time and you don't know which way is up, right? This is how the system is designed, and this is how it will be forever, as long as you have multiple centralized authorities existing under multiple individual and isolated variables, none of which have anything to do with actually deriving the value of the product that is produced. Then, you know, the outcome looks like this: a bunch of chaos all the time, you know, nobody knowing which way is up, nobody knowing how they can benefit, and ultimately nobody on the ground floor being empowered as a result of the whole system. But this thing is talking about providing a solution. Now let's jump back over into their website and see how they plan to put it together.
Cryptocurrency market is one of the fastest growing and promising markets in the world right now. However, even today, customers do not understand how to properly convert cryptocurrency into fiat money fast and safe. There are a lot of cryptocurrency exchange services, but their commissions are highly overvalued. They lack security and scale. Moreover, these services are too difficult to use. Streamdesk is a person-to-person platform based on smart contract cryptocurrency exchange. Streamdesk will be a unique and fully automatic service with minimal commission and fair market price. Smart contracts will guarantee the perfect security, and the transactions of traditional currency will be conducted directly between users with the reception of the official signal from the payment system. This signal will serve as a warrant to unblock the smart contract. Streamdesk unites and protects its users.
There you go. So as you can see, it's a lot simpler of a process. It doesn't deal with all those extraneous situations that may circumvent that transmission of value. You can see that they kind of serve as a central liaison or protocol that allows the facilitation of transfer of value from buyer to seller, right? That's all they're doing at the end of the day. They're going to convert it on the background using their native technology and the token itself, and then make it all secure and encrypted on the blockchain, right? They did mention the Streamdesk platform. We will get into that in a second. But again, just jumping back into the bigger scope of things and how ultimately platforms that facilitate mainstream conversion are beneficial for you. Let's go back and look at the international settlement, the Bank for International Settlements. This was published just a few months ago, right? And they had this nice money flower that some people have been referencing as of late. But you know, those big banks, they're not really all the way up to date on their information and the sources that they're pulling from. Hopefully they don't think Pokecoin is, you know, one of the leading innovators on the blockchain, but you never know. And then they have this thing broken out specifically in the cash versus Bitcoin, when we know, we just described, there are over 1,500 different forms of crypto. So now we go over to Wikipedia.com and their discussion of digital currency, right? Wikipedia.org/digital currency. And we see an updated version of this flower right here. And now we start to look at what actually is happening behind the scenes, right? So essentially, the way this thing shakes out is now we're in a situation to where these guys are playing in a very, very, very big field. It's not the central bank, but essentially that lower right-hand triangle where it says wholesale cryptocurrency, right? Because I think they're electronic peer-to-peer. They're not universally acceptable because it is their native token. So I think that boxes them out. But that lower right hand wholesale cryptocurrency is where these guys are playing. And that's a very, very, very big field. And because they're ultimately going to be a bridge between central bank issued non-electronic money, aka fiat money, cash, you know, they kind of are filling a very big need to cross that blockchain bridge and still facilitate local economics and global distribution, you know, and this is just another way of looking at it to kind of understand the major parts or the major components that are ultimately serving as these big factors building out this global network of economics. Is universal accessibility? Is it electronic? Is it central bank? Is it peer-to-peer, right? We know with crypto right away, it's peer-to-peer and it's electronic, right? It don't have nothing to do with that blue circle in the middle. Whether or not it's universally accessible is if it's, you know, being designed by a specific team for a specific purpose. And ultimately that purpose is that specific team's native platform, right? So a lot of these ICOs are, you know, fall into that wholesale cryptocurrency where it's kind of like a retail branded native token that plays into these different circles and subdivisions. But specifically, when we get into their platform, this Stream Desk, I think is really what I see as a major val prop for them. Basically, this is if they pull it off, it could be a pretty big opportunity, not only to strengthen their network, but also to provide value for the general population. And that's because they're talking about doing right here, Stream Desk. They're talking about a peer-to-peer platform where it's transferred directly through individuals, so it's more effective, cheaper, faster, low commissions, smart contracts, max security, ease of use. And they're also talking about putting educational content on here, you know, just a one-stop shop. Think of it as a CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, and TradingView all wrapped up into one. You know, that can be a fairly decent opportunity if that's something that you are indeed looking for, right? And then real quick, if we, I think this is important to go over this KYC policy. I saw something to do with that, a lot to do with that back in their white paper. So just make sure you are KYC compliant with regards to their participation and with regards to your native citizenship. I know we have a global community, people from all over the world. So again, just do your own research and make sure, you know, you are indeed compliant with the native laws in your region and country, right? We spoke about that. And again, streamity.org. This is, I believe, what's going to be built into the Stream Desk, and this includes the analysis, investment, educational resources, you know, business information, which could be pretty cool, really cool actually. I thought this was decent right here, and this is actually one of the things I like most about these guys is not only are they looking to build out the blockchain protocol of the platform, but they're also looking to build in supplementary content to bring all of that value together. So you have market overview, news analysis, you know, and different investment and educational services, calendars, ideas, articles, again, Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, and TradingView all wrapped up into one, backed by a centralized community. I think that's the biggest thing to note, is that most of these digital platforms are creating their own ecosystem. They're bringing people together. Think of Facebook before it had the news feed and all that FUD and subdivision of the masses. Just think of what it actually did. It brought people together, right? So the more that we can look for opportunities that are facilitating that transfer of value and communal adherence, I think ultimately the better we all will be as a result, you know. And so this is definitely an opportunity if it's something that you are looking for. With regards to the specific economics, I don't focus too much on the build out and the makeup of, you know, the economies, you know. I think mainly because people don't have enough money, and if you're listening to this as a person, you know, there are hedge funds that notice inside of these numbers way more than, you know, either me or you have time to learn inside of one video. But just know it's 180 million tokens. Value of one token equals 20 cents. You can participate with Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, ETC, USD, EUR, right? And so again, it is a fairly large market opportunity, right? It's not too many major power players, I think, on that one list. They showed their competitors, and it was like local Bitcoins and, you know, a few other mainstream platforms that facilitate this USD into a ERC20 conversion. And so if they're able to come on the scene and make a name for themselves, you know, I think they do have some experience on the back end with their team and the participation of different projects that they've, you know, worked in. Then they have a legitimate shot at making a dent in the marketplace, right? And lastly, they are incorporated in Singapore. One major benefit, I think, for cryptocurrencies, as the Singapore local government there has openly stated that they will be very supportive of all the blockchain initiatives taking place inside their country, inside their borders, right? And if you're looking for a job, there you go. Drop them an email. So there you go, guys. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been beneficial. Streamity, native peer-to-peer ERC20 token. Check it out if it's of interest to you. And I look forward to coming back on the next video and helping you guys achieve the finances of your dreams. Till we meet again, stay cryptic, y'all. Peace.